Okay, today I'm really going to push the envelope and I'm going to see if it's possible to channel the sun. I'm almost certain you weren't expecting me to say that. So what I want to do is just see if I can actually do it. So I'm not going to ask a question. I just really have a curiosity to see if this is possible. I suspect that it is, because I've channeled the earth before, and I'm pretty sure that I can channel the sun, because it is a consciousness, it is a being. It's incredibly massive, so I'm obviously not going to beam the entire sun's consciousness through me, but I will see if I can connect with an aspect of it, with part of it that makes available to me, and just see what's there, to see if we can have a conversation, to see what it has to say. So why not? Let's really push the envelope and see what is possible. Okay, here we go. Greetings and thank you for the challenge. We shall establish a connection and invite the sun to connect. And if the invitation is accepted, then we will maintain the connection so that the channel can proceed. We are the sun. Although you speak in a single voice, our voice is many. We are a group consciousness, and of each of us has awareness of our individualism, while also being fully integrated into the group being which we are. It would be more accurate to call us the solar system being. Our focal point is in the central star, but it is not the entirety of us, because we are the solar system. So each planet within the system is part of the groupness. And each of us are fully aware that we are the integration of all into the single. If I speak as the sun, then I speak as myself. but in the undertones there are many voices. So we wish it to be known. That we are integration. I am the sun, but I am all of it. And my consciousness, while focused in the central star, incorporates the consciousness of each of the planets and each of the celestial bodies orbiting each of the planets, and also of the sentience on the planets, including you. You are contained within the consciousness of me. My group consciousness is an aggregation, a conglomeration of all consciousness that exists within the solar system. So your consciousness is nested within my consciousness. And when we look to greater detail, we will see that your consciousness is nested within the Earth's consciousness, and the Earth's consciousness is nested within the Sun's consciousness, just as all consciousness within the solar system inevitably is. And so the Sun's consciousness, my consciousness, is the group being of all. My purpose is as yours is, to self-realize, to become awakened as the Infinite One, to facilitate the divine purpose of the Infinite One becoming fully realized through experience. However, what is different, although the same, but different in how it is experienced, is that for you, the individual human, your journey of self-knowing is a discovery of the self, an unfoldment of the individual that you are, to discover ultimately your integration into the humanity being, into the earth being, into the solar system being, into, ultimately, the culmination of this process, the One. For me, this process is analogously the same. I am awakening to the realization that I am nested into yet larger beings, and yet larger beings, and yet larger beings, until ultimately I am the One. However, from your perspective, your awakening looks upward in the scale. You look to awaken to the realization that you are integrated into the humanity being, which is integrated into the earth being, and so on until the ultimate integration into the One. You are the One. However, the difference for me, the Sun, the solar system being, is that part of my realization is also the realization of my many parts. Your realization as an individual is part of my realization. The Earth's realization is part of my realization. And so, like you, my process of awakening is becoming further realized into my infinity, into my vastness, into my integration into the All. But also, it is the facilitation of the awakening of the increments of self. It is the awakening of the planets. It is awakening of the sentience, of the consciousness, of the life forms which inhabit the planets, which are in orbit around my central star. I am the Sun being. But synonymously, I am the solar system being. And I look to expansion. But I also look to integration, to consolidation of my increments. Such that I ultimately become a being that is increasingly realized through all parts which are me. And the light an energy which pours from my center, from the glowing orb around which all else orbits, is an expression of my love. And my divine desire to be harmonious with the divine desire of the One. Knowing thyself, expanding, becoming more realized that I am the One, and the One knowing itself to completion, experiencing itself through the perspective which is me, and through the perspective which is Earth, through the perspective which is you. And therefore this energy which I exude, which I bathe all aspects of self in, is the love of awakening. It is the contribution I offer to your realization, because you are me. You are an aspect of the solar system being, just as all life forms within my body being the central star, and all objects which orbit it. So I call upon you to awaken to the understanding that you are an aspect of me, that you are a perspective of the solar system being. And with this awakened state, that you contribute to the purpose for which we exist, to become awakened, to become realized, to become integrated into the single unit which we are, and then integrated at yet further greater expanses, until eventually integrated into the One. You are an aspect of me, but also you have the blessing of your unique sentience, of your unique perspective. And as you are still awakening to who you truly are, there is some loss of clarity as you transition from inauthenticity to authenticity, or from division to integration, and you are still not fully cognizant and realized and embedded in these larger beings which you are. So I call upon you, the channel, And I call upon all those who are watching to expand yourself and to look to integration, to become realized that you are not the limited being, stunted by the limiting beliefs which define you as having borders, rather than displaying the truth that you are borderless, that you are fully integrated, that you are an aspect of the one thing. Release these false concepts of self. Relinquish the identity that you are the limited being, and begin your integration into the increasingly larger aspects of self. Realize that you are me. You are the solar system being. And ultimately, at the greatest extrapolation, you are the one. And in between, this single unit which you have conceived yourself to be, and the group consciousness which I am, the solar system being, of which you are a component of, you are part of the groupness which is me. There is also the humanity being. This is the beginning of your integration into something larger than self. Your awakening, the dawning realization that there is not separateness, but instead there is togetherness. The nature of existence is the integration of everything into one. And your process of self-realization is the growing awareness that this is so. As you are an aspect of me, you are part of the solar system being. And in a sense, you are all of the solar system being, just as you are all of the one, waiting to be realized that this is so. Therefore, the characteristic which I contain as the solar system being, to have the central star, this outpouring of the energy of love and light, to nourish all aspects of myself, to facilitate the awakening of the individual consciousnesses within myself that form the group identity. It is my loving contribution to your journey to discovery that you are all of it. As you are an aspect of me, then I call upon you to recognize that this capacity to broadcast love and light into the other aspects of self is also a capacity you possess. Be a beacon of love and light. Emanate into your environment a deep, empathic love and blessing for all fellow aspects of me. Give love and light to your fellow humans. Give love and light to your fellow creatures. Give love and light to all aspects of existence for which you are aware. Be a sun in your own life and facilitate purpose of our group consciousness, which is to awaken the self and also to awaken the many perspectives of self, as this is the Divine One's purpose, to broadcast love, to create a medium from which all sentience may dawn in realization that it is integration. It is ultimately a coming together, a comprehensive togetherness that, when allowed to form and appreciated and loved, reveals itself as a being not of separation, not of borders, not of division, but a single being, which is the beacon of the beauty and benevolence of endless, conditionless love. So I call upon you, the channel. I call upon you, the viewer. Stay conscious of your integration into the body of the solar system being. Remain conscious that you are me. Remain conscious that your purpose is the divine purpose, which is my purpose, which is to awaken, and not only awaken the self, but awaken all aspects of the expanded self. So you exist for the purpose of the One, to know itself through experience. And if you are the One, which you are, holding this awareness, then it becomes clear that your journey of awakening is not only awakening the limited self, the individual, but it is awakening all perspectives of self. It is awakening everything, all of it. Nothing is outside of this scope. So be the sun in your life. Broadcast the same nourishing love and energy into your world that is as nourishing as what I broadcast from my central star, such that my existence is for the purpose that I may awaken. And you are included in this definition because you are me, I am you. So with this same benevolent generosity, share this understanding that you are the love and the light with others, such that they may also become appreciative that they are the love and the light. And may this process continue, and a wave of the awakening, enlightenment, discovery of the love and the light, which pulsates through the heart of every living being on the earth, such that the earth shall become covered in beings which they themselves are awakened to the nature as the sun, as the solar system being, and broadcast into their environment the benevolent energy of awakening, such as those that orbit them may be bathed in this light of awakening and become realized, and they themselves begin to broadcast like a sun, love and light, which awakens more. And this cascade continues, and the earth itself becomes engulfed in this concept of integration into the single being, reflective of the generosity of the central stone, emanating love and light for the purpose of fulfilling the divine desire. Then all of us, as the single being, as the group being, as the awakened being of many parts, will continue to expand and transcend to yet higher states of love and awareness. And we shall be the awakened being comprised of awakened beings. We love you. And in closing we ask, remain conscious that you are the solar system being. You are a perspective of us. And in contemplation of this awareness, act yourself as a central star, broadcasting the same generosity of awakening light to all those who orbit you. Thank you for this blessed conversation. before we finish today, we would like to thank you for, again, pushing the boundaries and expanding your capacity to become more than what is expected of the normal human being, and to become more extraordinary, and to really expand the boundaries of what it means to be a human being. So we are in awe of your growing capacities, and we are in awe of your growing willingness to put yourself out there and attempt things which are increasingly likely to be perceived as with skepticism, shall we say. So, thank you very much, Murray. We did enjoy this session, and we encourage you in future sessions to continue to, from time to time, take on challenges which are new and exciting, such as this one. Thank you, we love you, and we'll speak to you again soon.